If a major global war actually happened, most safe countries lists you see online would be useless, because they ignore whether you could actually move there and live a normal life. If a world were to slide into a major global war, or even something like World War III, most people wouldn't be thinking about geopolitics or military strategy. They would be thinking about much simpler questions. Where would I actually be safe? Where could I realistically move? Could I get a visa, a job, a place to live, and a normal life if things really started to fall apart? That's the angle I wanted to explore in this video. Not which countries look good on map, and not which ones sound safe in theory, but which places would actually make sense for a normal person trying to move and live there in a worst-case scenario. By the end of this video, you'll have a short, realistic list of countries and a clear way to think about whether any of them would actually work for you. So I asked AI a very direct question, using simple language on purpose to keep the answer practical and grounded in real life. Here is the exact prompt I used. Write a single, clear response in normal, everyday language without bullet points or lists. If a major global war or World War III were to break out, which countries or regions would realistically be the safest and most stable places for a person to move to, and why? Focus on practical things that matter to someone moving there personally, like how easy it is to immigrate, get a visa, find a job, speak the language, rent or buy a place to live, and how safe the country is from conflict and disruptions. Include basic ideas about food, energy, and government stability, but explain them in a simple way anyone can understand. Avoid dramatic language, politics, or moral opinions, and finish with a clear overall takeaway about what really matters most when choosing a safe place to live in a worst-case global conflict scenario. And the answer we got was, if a major global war were to happen, the safest place to move would probably be countries that are geographically isolated, politically stable, and self-sufficient in basic needs like food and energy. Places like New Zealand, Iceland, and some parts of Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and Finland fit this description. They are far from major conflict zones, have strong governments, reliable infrastructure, and low crime rates. What the AI is doing here is setting a baseline. It's not saying these places are perfect or immune. It's saying that in a worst-case global scenario, distance from major conflicts, internal stability, and functioning institutions dramatically lower everyday risk for civilians. The focus isn't on power or influence, but on whether daily life keeps working when the world becomes unstable. Now moving on, they also produce or can access their own food and energy, which becomes very important if a global supply chain is disrupted. Canada and Australia are also relatively safe for similar reasons, with lots of space, resources, and stable institutions, though immigration rules can be strict. This part shifts the logic from safety to resilience. ChatGPT is pointing out that in large wars, disruption often hurts people more than violence. Countries that can feed themselves and keep power running handle stress far better than countries that rely heavily on imports. But at the same time, it introduces a constraint. Being safe doesn't mean being accessible. Immigration rules still exist even in unstable times. The final part of the AI response says, from a practical perspective, moving there isn't always easy. Some countries have long visa processes and strict work permit rules, so having skills in demand like tech, healthcare, or engineering helps a lot. English-speaking countries like New Zealand, Australia, and Canada are easier for many people to adapt to quickly, while Scandinavia often requires learning the local language to fully integrate, especially for jobs outside big cities. Housing availability can vary, and basic services like healthcare, banking, and internet reliability matter a lot in a crisis. This is where the answer becomes personal. ChatGPT isn't talking about countries anymore. It's talking about people. It's saying that real safety depends on whether you can legally stay, earn a living, communicate, and access basic services. A place can be stable on paper, but if you can't integrate or support yourself there, that stability doesn't help much in real life. So, based strictly on what the AI actually said, the countries it consistently points to as the safest and most realistic options in a worst-case global conflict scenario are New Zealand, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Canada, and Australia. Not because they are perfect, and not because they are immune to global chaos, but because they combine several things at once: distance from major conflict zones, political stability, reliable infrastructure, access to food and energy, and the ability to keep daily life functioning even under stress. At the same time, the AI makes it clear that none of these places are easy mode. Immigration rules, job skills, language, and housing still matter, and they matter a lot. So the real conclusion isn't just where the world is the safest, it's where safety and livability overlap. In a worst case global conflict, the best place to be isn't just far away from danger, it's somewhere stable, resilient, and realistic for you personally to build a life. That's what this channel is about. Asking AI difficult questions and then slowing down to understand what the answer really means beyond the surface. And if there's a question you would like the AI to answer next, let me know in the comments. If you have the time to ask ChatGPT the same question, I would also love to hear the answers you've got. Until next time.